Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Mel and today, you know the drill, it's TBR month. I'm so excited. It's the second round of TBR Bluff and this month we're choosing Chaos because it's also the next round of Becca's Bookoplathon. But before we get into that, let's thank the sponsor of today's video, Blackstone Publishing. Blackstone Publishing actually started out in 1987 as a primarily audiobook company, and since then they have been evolving and are now one of the top publishers of ebooks, print books, and audiobooks. They have some of my favorite authors such as Catherine Ryan Howard, so when they reached out and wanted to work with me, it was an easy yes. And today I want to talk to you about one of the cozy murder mysteries that they've got coming out, Pignon, Scorpion, and the Barbershop Detectives by Rick Bleiweiss. This book I had never heard about. I've been really wanting to get into cozy mysteries. The year is 1910 and there is a new police chief, Pignon Scorpion, and the town's not really sure that they want him there, but soon they find out that they're going to be in desperate need of him. He's investigating a trio of crimes and new surprises just keep coming forth. Luckily, he's old acquaintances with the barbershop owner. And then when all seems to be sorted out, in comes Thelma Smith, who is newly single and dazzling. Has Pignon Scorpion finally met his match? This book is said to be for fans of Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie. If you guys are interested in getting your own copy of it, you can go to this link down below and that will get you a copy as well as in my description box. Thank you again so much for Blackstone Publishing for reaching out. I think that this book would be absolutely perfect for fall and so I cannot wait to pick it up. It's September, the leaves are going to start falling. This sounds great. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be a really interesting month of TBR Bluff because we have TBR Bluff, but we also have Becca's Bookoplathon. So what I thought I would do just to live into the chaos a little bit is to do one roll for each board and then try to find one book that combines the two. If I absolutely can't make that happen, I have to pick a book for each. And this is just going to be complete chaos. I will also likely be doing a roll as you go week at some point, but that's not going to be included in this TBR because I will be rolling as I go. But I still wanted to play it up front for you guys, so I figured what better way than to just choose chaos and run with it. So first let's talk about how I did last month before we jump into the rolls. So far I have completed most of my TBR. I still have one book left to read and that is In the Shadow of Lightning. I am filming this TBR a little bit early, so I have not started it yet, but I do have a full week to get it started. Otherwise, I was able to finish out all of the books and you will catch all of my thoughts in the wrap up. But whew, this one, it should have been an easy TBR to complete, but man, we were coming in a little close. Just a little close. I only had a week left to finish that behemoth of a book, but I think I can get it done. I'm going to listen to the audiobook and I feel like we've got it under control. As far as mandatory books for the month of September, I only have two for a change, and that is Poison Song by Jen Williams. It is the third and final book for the Backlist Book Club. Then my Patreons and I are also going to be joining Covers with Cassidy and The Dragon Stable in a read-along of the Threadlight series by Zach Argyle. I am so excited to start this series. It is a very popular indie series that has been going around, and the last book just came out. The cover is super intriguing, so I cannot wait to get started on it. And then last but not least, we need to go ahead and draw from the Witch's Brew mug for my final mandatory read. Since I did read The Name of All Things for TBR Bluff this month, I will be picking a new one out of the jar. If I don't put it on the TBR Bluff, then I have 2 months to complete it. If I complete it within the month, I'll just pick another one next month. Okay, there's some really big ones in here, so I'm a little bit scared. That one scares me. Okay. Yeah, where's it open? There we go. Heartbones from Rye. Okay. So this one is not super big. It's actually one of the nice ones that was in here. I have read a lot of Colleen Hoover, but Colleen Hoover's Heartbones is one that I have not gotten to, and it is one of Rye's absolute favorites. I think she said it deals with grief and family and what they kind of go through after they lose a family member. It reminds me of reminders of him a little bit in the description, but she said it's nothing really like that, so I'm really hopeful that I will enjoy it. She said it made her sob, so I'll read it at night after I've taken my makeup off, I guess. I have not cried at a book yet. I don't cry at books easily, so we'll see if this one gets to me. Okay, I guess that's all the housekeeping stuff, so let's jump into the rolls. TBR Bluff, roll number 1. Okay, so we have 2 2s and 2 5s, so I'm going to keep those out. And then let's re-roll this one. Another 2. Okay. So I actually think I'm going to keep all of the 2s and I'm going to re-roll my 5s. Last roll. 4 2s and a 4. Perfect. So we have 4 2s. It can get us animals, which is 2 of the die. It can also get us standalone, which is down here in the corner. We also have a sexy cover using all 4 of the die. So I actually think I'm going to go ahead and use all 4 because this is going to get even harder as we go. So we're going to use sexy cover. Okay, so time for Becca's Bookoplathon. Let's do our first roll. We're going to start with a black die as our counter on go. And let's just see what we get. Oh, that's unfortunate. We've already got a double. Okay, so the first one is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. TBR Vet. So our first roll for TBR Bluff got us 4 2s and a 4, and we ended up going with the prompt sexy cover. And then for Becca's Bookoplathon, we got TBR Vet. So this one was a little bit challenging, I'm not gonna lie, because I had to go find some TBR Vets, and then I had to go find books that I liked the cover. So I was able to come up with 3 different options. The first one is Lights of Prague by Nicole Jarvis. This is like a historical gothic fantasy that I think would be really interesting coming up into spooky season. Then we have Archive of the Forgotten by A.J. Hackwith. This is the second book in the Library of the Unwritten series. I think that's, no, from the Hell's Library series. And this one is about a library where unfinished works go, and then sometimes these unfinished works can escape and they have to be hunted down. I liked the first book, but not quite as well as I thought I would, so I've been putting this one off. But again, it kind of screams fall to me, so I don't know, maybe. And then last but not least, we have Priest of Bones by Peter McLean. This one is another gothic fantasy story, and the cover just screams fall to me, so I'm thinking that this might be for me. Mark Lawrence says a story of organized crime with shades of The Godfather. It sounds really good. So I think just in the name of continuing series, I'm going to have to go with The Archive of the Forgotten. Again, this one is a story about Hell's Library, and I just think it would be perfect leading up into the month of October. I think this has got to be it. I think this has got to be it. And it's been on my TBR for probably 2 years now. I've been putting it off, and I've really got to get on it. Okay, so let's do TBR Bluff roll number 2. We have 2 5s, a 4, and 2 1s. Again, you know how we like the doubles. 3 1s and 2 5s. Let's keep the 3 1s and let's roll the 2 5s again. And 2 4s. Okay, so that's pretty solid. I think we can probably make something out of that. We have 3 1s and 2 4s. Our next roll got us 3 1s and 2 4s. So if we just want to use 3 1s, that's a book I previously DNF'd, which I would love to not use. And if we're looking at 2 4s and 2 1s, that is Color Generator, as well as Award Winner. And then for 2 4s, we can use One Word Title. So I think out of all of those, I want to go with Color Generator. That sounds fun. We'll use that one. Okay, and roll 2 out of 5 now. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull pick. Okay, for our second roll for TBR Bluff, we got 3 1s and 2 4s. This one was not super difficult, and that got us the prompt Color Generator. So we will do that here together in just a second. And then for Becca's Bookoplathon, we got Pull Pig. So this one is 120% out of my control. So I guess let's just get a color generator up really quick. Okay, so let's just hit generate. Blue, more like a navy blue. Okay, let's see if we can find some navy blue books. Okay, so I managed to find 5 books that are blue and a darker shade of blue kind of to me. This was a lot harder than I thought, so I just got as close as I possibly could to a darker blue. And I think what I'm going to do is put this up for my Patreons to choose. The first one that we have is The Spine of the Dragon by Kevin J. Anderson. This is the first book in a series, and it was gifted to me by Rachel. Her description gives it a whole lot better than mine will, and she said that this is a political dragon book with empires comparing eggplants while the world ends. So again, Rachel gave it high praise. I actually do have the second book in the series now, so that's option 1. The next option is another Rachel option, and that is Green Rider by Kristen Britton. This one kind of gives me, I mean, it's darker blue in my opinion. She calls this horse girl fantasy, which I can see why. It's about a girl that is just, I think, kind of just out and about, and one of the king's green riders, who are messengers, has come up riding on a horse, but he dies and she has to deliver the message. I do know that this is YA to begin with, but I think it gets really, really dark by the end, and I've seen the last one around and almost picked up a million times, so I'm curious to start the series. Then we have one that I have never heard anybody ever talk about, and that is The Way of All Flesh by Ambrose Parry. This is a historical murder mystery, I think. It's set in Edinburgh, 1847. City of medicine, money, and murder. Maybe. Might be good fall vibes. And then I'm going to cheat a little bit and put Blood of the Chosen by Django Wexler on here. It's very, very blue. It may not be dark blue, but it's very, very blue. This is the second book to The Ashes of the Sun, which I read, I think, last month and absolutely adored. So I really want to get onto the second one. It's such a unique fantasy. It's got siblings that are on opposite sides. It's got a really unique magic system. It's got ghouls. It's got constructs. I loved it, and I cannot wait to continue. And then the last one is the one that I don't own, and that is a book club pick, and that is Voices of War by Zach Argyle. I have the audio copy of this, but I don't have a physical copy, but it's pretty blue, and that is the Patreon read-along with Cassidy. So I'm going to present to my Patreons these 4 books plus Voice of War, and we'll just see what they pick for me. And then whatever they do pick, Editing Mel will pop up here in the corner somewhere. Did I do it? Is it a good one? Hopefully so. TBR Bluff, roll number 3. We're just liking the 2s today, so I think I am going to keep the 3 2s and re-roll the 5 and the 3. We got a 5 and a 4 that time, so I guess let's do this one more time. A 1 and a 5. So looking like we're probably going to have to make something out of 3 2s, but we'll see what happens. Roll number 3 got us 3 2s, a 1, and a 5. So looking at that, most likely we're going to have to do something out of those 3 2s. So we can either do animals, which uses 2 of the die. We can do reverse page count. We can do standalone again. And I think that's all. Excuse me, ma'am. I think that's all of the options. So out of those options, I think I'm going to go with standalone. Becca's Bookoplathon, roll 3 out of 5. 3. 1, 2, 3. Summer. Ugh, that stinks. I'm feeling fall vibes. And then for roll number 3, we got 3 2s, a 5, and a 1. The 2s were just coming out to play today, and this was a standalone book. And then for Becca's Bookoplathon, we got a summer read. So I don't really love the fact that I got summer read because I don't want to read any summery books right now. I think what I'm going to go with is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead, because it does have kind of like summer sunset vibes in the cover. It also just came out on August 16th, so I feel like it is still summer. It's a summer release. This one is, I believe, from the author of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which I heard some really good things about last year, and it is about a cult, I believe, where our main character Shay and her best friends were seduced and introduced into a web of lies, and then senior year, Shay and her friend Laurel are the only 2 ones that managed to get out. Now we're 8 years later, where Shay has made a new life in Texas, but she hears the horrifying news of her friend's death, and she begins to suspect that the past that she thought was buried is still very much alive. So she recruits the help of this podcast host, and she goes back to the place where she never thought she would go in search of answers. Cult, podcast, sounds good, sounds right up my alley, so I think that we're going to do this one. Okay, and the final TBR Bluff roll, number 4. A 1, 2 3s, a 6, and a 4. Okay, let's keep these 2 3s, and we're just going to try our luck with these 3 again. A 1, a 2, and a 4. Not super helpful. Actually, that is I can make a lucky 11 out of that, so let's just roll this one more time. And a 6. So I think we might can get a lucky 11 out of that, which would be solid, but we'll check in just a second. And our final roll for this month, roll number 4, was 2 3s, a 1, a 4, and a 6, which doesn't seem like we would be able to do much out of, but if you add the 2 3s together to get 6, you add the 4 to get 10, and you add the 1 to get 11, that gives us a lucky 11, which is a book club or read-along pick. Perfect. Okay, Becca's Bookoplathon rolled number 4. Let's try that again. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. TBR game. Well, that's going to be easy. Okay, and then for the last TBR Bluff roll, we got 2 3s, a 6, a 4, and a 1, which by some miracle got me a lucky 11, which is a book club or readathon pick. So I'm going to be putting on Poison Song by Jen Williams. Again, this is the 3rd book in the Winnowing trilogy and the final book for Catch Up Book Club in this series. This trilogy is kind of hard to explain, but it follows a world where the worm people keep coming and destroying the world. There have been 8 of them, or 8 reigns so far. In the last one, the tree god died, and that was the god that was kind of giving these race of people their powers and their immortality, I guess is a good way to put it, and now they are having to feed on humans. The world is dying, and they're worried that these worm people are going to come back again. I enjoyed book 1, enjoyed the second half a lot of book 2, so I'm interested to see how this kind of rounds out. It is a sci-fi fantasy blend, but it's leaning more into the sci-fi as we go along. So hopefully we all love it. Tune into the live show to find out our thoughts. And hopefully our last roll. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A mood read. Nice. And then because I rolled a double on the first Bookoplathon roll, which of course I did, we had to go 5 times for that one, and the last one was mood read, which couldn't get any better than that. And honestly, I am going to cheat just a little bit here, and I'm not going to pick my mood read right now. I'm going to mood read something throughout the month. I will let you know at the end of the month what that is, but I don't think I'm going to pick right now. I think it's probably going to end up being this one if my Patreons don't choose it for me for the prompt, but since they could, I'm not going to pick it right now. Okay, so that was TBR Bluff and Becca's Bookoplathon. It was not nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be really, really rough, but we muddled through. We came through strong. I have so much spooky content that I'm planning to create throughout September and October, so I didn't want to do a huge TBR, but obviously I had to do somewhat of a TBR. So we're going to be doing the reading in the month of September and October. As Erin says, I will probably be doing a lot of sprints because I'm going to need to get a lot of books done. So far, I think that this is a pretty good TBR. I can't hold up the books because half of them I either don't know what they are or I don't own them. So I guess we'll just hold up a random stack in the thumbnail. Future Mel, once all of this has been decided, we'll put my total page count down here at the bottom so that you guys can see. Is it bad? I hope it's not bad because I'm probably only going to have a week to finish this TBR. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because it's going to stress me out. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to hang out with me a little bit more, my Patreon is linked down in the description box. It will also get you access, if you're on the higher tiers, to the read along with Cassidy for Threadlight. And Otherwise, you can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. I'll link down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you wanna. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!